Chefs to the future, COF Nation, COF Nation. Hey, yo, let's get this going. I'm dying to talk to y'all. And look, there's been a lot of people that's been asking me to touch upon this again. And so I think I'll bring it up, and it sounds like a good idea. And we've been covering this from the beginning. If you've been listening to the show at all from any time, you know we've been saying this. Like, we understand the pandemic has affected things much more deeper than our place that we like to buy our donuts from or our favorite restaurants that we frequent. There's people losing loved ones, there's people losing their own lives, and that takes precedent over everything, and we understand completely the decisions that's being made. This is just a place for us to iron out thoughts and have conversations and stimulate new conversations that's not quite being had in other places. So, like we've been saying, we brung up the question from the beginning: what is the consumer confidence? Then, as being people, industry workers ourselves, uh, restaurant managers, hotel managers, restaurant workers, hotel workers, on every level, what is the workers' confidence in continuing to work and even going back originally from their quarantines, from things closing down and everything? How do we feel about all this? So, I originally said, if you feel safe, if you're vaccinated, especially on the board of getting vaccinated, it's the socially responsible thing to do. Once you're vaccinated and you're eligible for booster shots, you get your booster shots. You continue to wear your mask when you're around people. You continue to properly wash your hands and take extra measures. We are still in the grips of a pandemic. No matter what stage of the pandemic we're in, it's still life, and it's still something to stress. Now, we're saying, hey, being with all that being said, if I'm feeling symptomatic, should I go into work or should I stay home? And we can't underplay the fact that there's people at varying levels of financial stability. And when people have a routine of coming to expect a certain amount weekly or bi-weekly, missing a day or 2 days can really throw a wrench in their plans. So it's quite not an option. You know, it's not just black and white. It's many shades of gray to this situation, as is most. So you say like this: what do you tell that person? Should that person, and many do, continue to go into work, though they should tell their supervisors? And then, okay, let's be real. We live in a real world, right? And this is Chefs of the Future. We always keep it a buck. So in the real world, you tell your supervisor. Now, you think they'll send you home. But look, let's be honest. The restaurants, the hotels, they need the workers. They'll say, well, just take a little bit, drink some water. Uh, let's reevaluate in 10 minutes. But, in the meantime, just sit down, get your breath, and, just let me know how you feel at lunchtime. Well, let me know how you feel after dinner. Well, let me know how you feel tomorrow. Well, let me know how you feel after this event is done next week. And then you brushed it off and you powered through it, and that's what they're hoping. And in 75% of the cases, that's what happens in the perfect world. But look, we're in a pandemic. Again, you have to better be safe than sorry. You always got the side on the side of precaution and say, look, let's reevaluate what's important. My health is the most important thing. Call out if you need to. Simple. And look, if you feel like you've been exposed, get tested. Even if it means, middle of your shift, get tested. Because it's better to be safe than sorry. And, especially when you have all these variant strains coming out, it's more important than ever. But yeah, that's the question. Feeling symptomatic, should a symptomatic worker call out or continue to come in? It's not as easy as of an answer to answer, a question to answer rather. Let me know your thoughts on that. That's insane. Now this is guaranteed every single month. If they don't drop subscriptions, that's what you're gonna get, and that's a revenue stream in which you can rely on, and that's insane. And that's the first time in fast food history that they'll have a revenue stream that reliable, that consistent, that substantial. So you could see how other companies would look at that and be like, "Yo, I want some of that pie," and start to implement that. Then you have the off to the races. That's why we're talking about this. Is the subscription service the new battleground, potential battleground, the potential setting up Gold Rush? Now, on to the main thing that I want to talk about today, which is this. Now, we have a story that was brought to my attention by Eater. Now, I consistently talk about Eater here on the show because I like their articles. They have a way of wording it and in a nice, tight article, and for me to convey it back to y'all in a pretty consistent manner. And you could always, I always encourage y'all to do your own due diligence and head on over and check them out. But let's check out this article. It's on Eater, written by Amy. I'm not gonna butcher her last name. It's called Taco Bell Debut, the only good fast food subscription. Now, this is what I personally like to think of as the Netflix effect. They all see how profitable and beneficial and the long game when it comes to how much money that business model is really going to be raking in, and they want a piece of that, and rightfully so. So you have all companies on all fields looking to see if they can implement a subscription-based model into their company, or completely switch over in some cases. So you have Taco Bell taking this into consideration and implementing it and really running with it. And that's the gist of this article. But let's really think about it. Are we on the cusp of a war when it comes to a race to see who could lock down the most subscriptions when it comes to fast food? Now, I could see a fast food subscription service working on the fast food level, maybe even fast casual eventually, because they're just greedy enough to try to make it happen. And the customers, they're the customer base that they appeal to, I feel like would really be on board with that. It might creep into your standard restaurants, but it cannot crack the high-end community, the high-end dining, because their customer base just wouldn't go for it. Like, they wouldn't dine out as frequent. And I don't see them having enough appeal, enough to bring to them to entice them to even sign on board with it originally in the first place. But it's a great idea. Think about it. If you have, for the sake of this conversation, 1 million subscribers, right? And Taco Bell is saying their subscription service starts at $10. Now, they're saying for that $10, you're able to get a 30 tacos. So that's one taco free every single day of the month. So that's 30 tacos every month you get for free for $10. Now that's a hell of a deal, because that's equate to about 30 cents a taco. That's awesome. That's a great deal. And they're saying by pure math and pure, like, looking at value at what you get for how much you're paying, this is the best subscription service that's available, that's being offered to consumers right now. And I would agree. But more so, I'm impressed with how they was able to implement the business model. Now, will it work? Who knows? Now, at $10, let's say they get 1 million subscribers, right? That's already $10 million a month. You get where this is going. So starting this week, people who love Taco Bell enough will be able to have the fast food chain logo tattooed on their bodies, will be able to show their dedication in a whole new way. By signing up for the subscription service that entitles the subscriber to one taco per day for 30 days for just $10 per month. Moving down, this chain is not the first to debut with the subscription service, but it does appear to be the best new deal in the fast food game. As CNN Business notes, Pandora Bread continues to offer a subscription service that entitles its most devoted patrons to a cup of ice or hot coffee every day for just $9 a month. And Sweet Green's new $10 a month subscription service offers $3 off every order. Now, that doesn't sound bad. But again, out of the ones that are attempting it so far, but you better believe everyone, and we will too, has their eye out on what's going to happen next with Taco Bell and this experiment. Because if this pops, you better believe all bets is off and everyone is looking. So let's go. That's my thoughts on that. And if am I overlooking it? Let me know your thoughts and comment below. And we're out of here. Just as always, join the conversation. Rich, we